Namaskar and welcome back to Presha Yoga, and I am Presha. Today in this class we will be learning Malasana. This is also known as garland pose. For this pose we will be using a light blanket. You can see I'm sitting on one right now, and a yoga block. So roll out your mat and let's get started. Garland pose, Malasana, is a deep squat pose. It is a beneficial pose, especially for women who are going through their cycles and they do have cramps and pain. It is advised to practice this pose often. It is also great for strengthening your abdominal muscles and the organs which are there. It is also beneficial for stretching your ankles, your hamstrings, and your lower back. This is a pose which I feel is such an essential pose that everybody should practice, because this is how traditionally, and especially in Asian countries, people used to sit down even to eat or to do their normal day-to-day activities. When they wanted to sit down, they used to sit in almost like a Malasana pose. Great for keeping you healthy for longer time, and especially with your legs which start to become weak. However, with the time, and especially in the West, and actually even in the Asian countries now, we've been sitting for long hours on chairs and couches, and thus our posture has gone wrong. And with the posture getting hampered, we do face a lot of health issues as well. So please come back to this pose now and again whenever you can in your practice. Inculcate this pose, and also try and sit in this pose just in general also, if you can find the time in the day to be there for at least 10 to 15 breaths. So let's get into the pose. Malasana, as I mentioned, is a yogi squat. Is a squat. People also called it as yogi squat. So for this, you basically come on the top of the mat. You keep your feet hip width apart, slightly shoulder to hip width apart. Take your toes slightly out, okay? And then just keep standing tall, and then slowly start to bend through your knees and come sit down into a squat, okay? Slightly turn your toes out, point your toes out. Now, once you're here in a squatting position, you don't want to round. Instead, you want to lengthen through your back. With your elbows, you're going to keep your elbows bent, and you're going to put your elbows and hook your elbows in the insides of your thighs. This way, your elbows are going to start to resist the thighs by pressing them out, and your thighs and your legs are going to hug your elbows in. So there is resistance from both ways. Now from here, your hands will come to your heart center in Anjali Mudra, and you're going to lengthen through your back, lift through your chest. And we are going to stay here for a couple of breaths. This is how the pose looks like, okay? So again, around 5 to 10 breaths is what you want to aim for. I'm also going to be demonstrating you now the modification of this pose, because I know for some of us this pose is not that accessible, because sometimes there is a lot of pain in the knee, or there is you can see that a lot of people will be up with the heels, and they are not able to come down all the way there with their soles and the heels of their feet down on the mat. So in that case, what you could do is you could use this blanket and roll the blanket like so, and then we are going to place our feet on, or especially our heels on the blanket, okay? So put the blanket here, come back standing, put your heels on the blanket, and then again lengthen first. Try and keep your feet around hip width apart. Good. Inhale. Then exhale, bending into your knees. Come back into that squatting position. Elbows are pressing. So take your knees slightly wide, okay? Because your elbows are going to press into the insides of your thighs, while your thighs are going to be hugging your elbows in. This way you're going to get room to get your trunk forward, and you're going to be able to lengthen through your back. So you can see that we are practicing the same pose and modifying it, making it accessible for the friends who feel the heels and the feet were not coming down on the mat. Great. Let's stay here for 5 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling and exhaling through the nose. And just make sure you're not holding tension anywhere in the body. Keep your face relaxed, unclench your jaw and soften your shoulders. Relax and drop your shoulders. Beautiful. And then you can just frame your fingers down, drive your hips up. You can bring your feet in slightly. Good. And then slowly come up. One more way to practice the pose is by using a block. Now, place one block, and actually you can place 2 blocks as well. I'm going to start with 1 block. Put the block on the lowest level. Again, go back to standing with your feet hip width apart. Just gently and slightly turn your toes out. Inhale, lengthen, stand tall. Exhale, bend your knees. Back into that squat. And use the block to slowly rest your hips on the block. Elbows again pressing into the insides of your thighs while your thighs are hugging your elbows in. Option to keep using this block, or option to use and stack another block on the top and just go back to the same pose. Again, while you are in the pose, just make sure you're constantly pressing your elbows into the thighs and your thighs are hugging your elbows in. This way you will find the perfect alignment of lengthening through your back. And we're going to again stay here for, let's stay here for 3 breaths now. Beautiful. Fingers down, drive your hips up, bring your feet slightly in, and slowly come to the stand. This is Malasana and the modifications of this pose. Great pose, as I mentioned before, to just practice in general. Great way to improve your health and your posture, and to also strengthen your lower body. So I hope this pose was clear for you, and I'm going to see you again in another class. Until then, take care of yourselves. Om Shanti.